We are on page 25 of our grammar books, talking about adverbs. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so an adverb is, I'm sure you've heard about this before, adverb. It's nice when they actually give you a clue in the word because that always comes in handy, but basically it means you're adding to the verb. So you're making it more visual or you're describing it a little bit more in detail when you add an adverb. An adverb modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. An adverb tells how, when, where, why, to what extent. So here it says memorize it, and these are really good to have, and I want you to use your book. I know I've told you this before. When you go to do your homework for this class, use your book. It needs to be like completely worn out by the end of the year. So flip around in there, especially these Learn It pages, to remind you what these things are. So here it says how, when, where, why, to what extent. If you keep that in mind as you're looking for an adverb, that will help you. If you can ask those questions, if you can answer them, if it tells how or when or where, why, or to what extent, then you know the word is an adverb. And it often ends in ly. And that is what we're going to talk about today too. So when you're marking it, you're going to write ADV, which stands for adverb, above each ly adverb. Okay, here's the example. The deer carefully hid in a secluded thicket. The deer carefully hid. The verb in this sentence is hid, and then carefully is then the adjective because it's telling how. How did the deer hide? The deer carefully hid. So that question, how, we can answer. So that gives us a clue that it is an adverb. And we're going to talk a little bit more down here about ly adverbs. An ly adverb dresses up writing when it creates a strong image or feeling. Look for ly adverbs in this book and write them on the ly adverb collection page, Appendix 2. So Appendix 2 is at the very back of your book. If you go back here, let me just show you what that page looks like. Appendix 2. It's a Roman numeral 2. It looks like it says 11, but it's actually 2. There is a handy dandy, for your enjoyment, a place to make an adverb list. And it's handy because it's in your book. And it's suggesting as you go, you make a master list, and every other one is grayed out. You can write on the gray and on the white. It's just basically like dividing it up for you, but you can just write on the gray and the white. Just make a big list here and go down this row and this row of your ly adverbs. The reason they're suggesting you do this is because that is something you're going to be adding to your writing from now on. And it's nice to just have it in one place. So you can use, with your parents' permission, you can use Google or Siri when you check with your parents first on that. Okay, if they say, no, I'd rather you don't, then you're going to have to either find a dictionary or you're going to have to just be creative and come up with your own ly adverb list. And this book has a bunch of them in there. So as you come across it, you can add it to the back. Okay, back to page 25. And if your parents would rather sit with you when you're online, that's fine. Just find a time together where they can sit with you as you're researching these ly adverbs. And the reason why you want to check with your parents first, you guys know, there's crazy stuff online. So it's always best to get permission, and either that or you have somebody sit with you as you're searching online. Okay. ly adverbs, and then here we have noun of direct address. That might be a new term for you. Noun of direct address. Has anybody heard that phrase before? Give me a thumbs up if you have, thumbs down if no. And in the middle, like, I'm not sure, I haven't had my coffee yet. Okay, so you're kind of like, whew. Maybe it's Dr. Pepper you need, I don't know. But a noun of direct address is abbreviated NDA. And it is a noun used to refer to someone directly. It names the person spoken to. So I know you've seen it before. You probably just didn't know what it was called. But it can appear in any natural pause in a quoted sentence. For instance, here's a quote, somebody speaking. Robin, tomorrow you will win the contest, his friend said. So Robin is the noun of direct address because his friend is addressing Robin directly. Okay, that's the connection right there. So you've seen it before, but now you know what it's called, noun of direct address. Robin is the noun and his friend is directing his attention to Robin. Here's another example. Tomorrow, Robin, you will win the contest, his friend said. So here we are again, we're addressing Robin. Tomorrow you will win the contest, Robin, his friend said. So there's 3 examples of how that noun of direct address works in a sentence, especially when it has a quote or somebody speaking. Because a noun can perform only one function in a sentence, a noun of direct address is never the subject of a sentence. So you may think it should be because it's a noun, but it's not the subject of a sentence. You know how we've been marking nouns and then we find the subject and then the verb pairs and all that. But this is a little different. So in these sentences, the noun of direct address is Robin, because that is the noun used to directly address Robin. The subject is the pronoun you. So let's look back here. Robin, tomorrow you will win the contest. Because remember, the subject and the verb go together, they pair up. So you will win tells me that you is the subject, but the noun is Robin. So you would write an N for Robin, but then you would write S above you, and then the verb that connects with the you. So Robin, tomorrow you will win the contest. So it's just addressing that person. It's just basically calling them out. All right, commas, it's important to know, is used to separate items in a sentence. Commas are used to separate the noun of direct address from the rest of the sentence, just like it is here. So it kind of helps a little bit because it makes you want to pause when you're reading it, which makes it a little bit easier to process in your brain. Because if you just said, Robin, tomorrow you will win the contest, but if you go, Robin, tomorrow you will win the contest. Have you ever heard your mom say, Bronx, you will not eat dinner until you clean your room? Just kidding. But I don't know if she's ever said that. I might just have nailed it, but you know that Bronx, and you're like, yeah, Mom? It really makes you stop and listen, right? So if there's a pause there, that adds kind of a dramatic effect. You don't have a messy room, right, Bronx? Your room is clean, organized. At least you're honest.
It depends.
Unless it's laundry day, then forget it. It's a mess. It's a giant mess, right? I bet Abby's room is clean. Are you in your room right now, Abby? Yeah, I bet you're you seem like a tidy personality. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I am. I confess. But
There are my days though.
yeah, okay, that's fair. I'll give you that. I can relate. Right now, my room is like half messy because my laundry is starting to get out of hand. It's like one of these days I'm going to have to just stop what I'm doing and put stuff in the wash because right now it's kind of starting to pile up. So it's like half and half right now. There's that transition stage where you're like, man, my room is clean. It looks so good. It feels nice to be in here. And then a few days later, it's like, okay, things are happening. Yeah, I understand. I can accept that. But then I know people who are like clean freaks. There are those out there. I have a sister-in-law that's that way. I mean, you'll never see anything out of place at her house. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's that. My mom, she's sometimes like that.
Yeah,
Most of the time, her room is like always clean.
clean. Yeah, she probably likes it clean. It probably makes her feel like more relaxed. That's how I am. If it's clean, I'm like, oh, this is nice. How about you,
But
Allie? Do you keep a clean room or is it sometimes messy?
I clean it and then I just make a mess after.
That sounds about right. Paisley, were you going to say something?
My Aunt Sarah's house, it's like a Christmas card. It's like always so perfect. And for
Oh my
each
gosh.
season, she decorates that season. It's like, yeah.
Oh, a Christmas card. That's kind of cute. We used to say it's like a magazine. I mean, whenever I don't know if you've even looked at magazines, but they're like perfect decorated rooms and, like you're saying, which is fun. It's fun to have that, but it's a lot of pressure on yourself to keep it up like that. Okay, enough about that. We're like going down a psychological road here. The example at the bottom, Robin, you should enter the contest. His friend suggested shows the comma to separate the noun of direct address from the rest of the sentence. All right. Go ahead and turn the page to 26. I think we talked about this before, right? We've talked about homophones, right? I think we have. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So homophone, that's just a type of speech that the words sound exactly the same, but they have different meanings. So we're going to talk about, here it says correctly use homophones, it's and its, your and your. Oh, that's a big one. That's so annoying. I don't know about you, but that one gets me every time. If somebody uses the wrong your, yeah, you guys can relate to that. There's a big difference between those two yours. So it's important to make sure you're using it the right way, spelling it. It's a possessive, it's, okay, let me start over. It's is. You don't see that very often. Okay, it's is a possessive pronoun. Its target, the target belongs to it. So that is possessive, even though there's not an apostrophe there. And that can be confusing because when you're using, like, if you were to say Robin's target, it would be apostrophe because it's possessive. But this is using the pronoun it. Its target does not have an apostrophe because if it did, it changes that word its, right? And now it should be it is if you put an apostrophe there. And that doesn't make sense. It is target, unless you're talking about the store target. I guess you could use it there, but this is talking about, like, obviously a bullseye target. We're talking about Robin Hood. So, okay, the possessive pronoun its tells whose and functions as an adjective. Its is a contraction. It's spring. It is spring. So the contraction its is shortened form of it is and functions as a subject pronoun. It and verb is of the clause. So that's when it gets a little tricky because there's a pronoun and it's a verb. It's a subject pronoun and a verb because is a verb. Your is a possessive pronoun. Your bow. The bow belongs to you. The possessive pronoun your tells whose and functions as an adjective. Whose bow is it? Your bow. Your with apostrophe is a contraction. You're right. You are right. See, it drives me crazy when people put Y-O-U-R, right? You're right. Anyway, the contraction your with apostrophe re is a shortened form of you are and functions as the subject pronoun you and the verb are of the clause. Okay, go down here to fix it. Place a line through the incorrect homophone and write the correct word above it. Am I showing you the teacher's edition? No? Okay, it's already done for you, so haha. It's trying to hide, it should be it is trying to hide, but its antlers, now we're talking about whose antlers, it's possessive, no apostrophe, its antlers are showing, and then here, You're on your way to the archery contest. You are on your way to the archery contest. Okay, let's go to 27, page 27. All right. Any volunteers to read these sentences to us? Get started. No? All right. I'll let you relax this time. But that will be the end of your relaxing. Robin immediately took offense and challenged the forester. Sir, do you see the deer at the edge of the wood? I bet you 20 pounds that I can hit it. 20 pounds. I heard that pounds are kind of close to dollars, but a little bit different. And I think that's what we decided that's what they use in England. So our vocabulary word is offense. Offense. Does anybody know if they can define that word offense?
Like they're offended, or like it's kind of hard to, I don't know, it's kind of hard to like say, like describe it, but
Isn't that funny? It's like you know in your head what it means, but trying to figure out how to describe it. And I know what you mean. Maybe like resentment. You know what resent means? Like if you get offended, you're like, "Ah, I don't snore when I sleep. How dare you? I don't snore." Right? You're offended. And maybe I do. Just
yeah.
yeah. Okay. So, or if you're talking football, offense, we all know that. But in this, it's more of an emotional reaction. It's like emotional resentment. Okay, so we got that. Check that. And now our articles, you know what they are. Still list them here just because I like it. And let's see, Allie, can you pick out the 4 articles in these sentences?
After challenged, it's the.
Okay.
And then after sir, do you see? And then it's the.
Okay.
And then deer at, and then the.
The. Okay.
And then edge of, and then the.
The. Are they all those? Let's see. We got
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was all of them. All right. Good job. The. Done. Nouns. Paisley. See if you can find 8. If you need help, we'll ask for help. But 8 nouns. Can you tell me as many as you can see in here?
Robin,
Good.
forester,
Okay.
deer,
Okay.
woods.
Good.
Is edge one?
Edge. Actually, yes, it is, because you're talking about at the edge. Good. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 3 more in here.
20 pounds.
Pounds, yes, good.
Is hit it?
Hit it would be an action. So no, it is actually, let's see. It's actually sir. That's a person, right? Sir, and then let's see, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still have 2 more. Actually, offense is one. Took offense. Even though offense is an emotion, it's actually describing what, right? Took offense. And that's 7, and we have 1 more. Edge, wood, pounds. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we got it. Phew. I was like, uh-oh, I don't know the last one. 8. We got it. All right. Abby, how about some pronouns? Those are take the place of a noun. What do you see here?
Would you be a pronoun?
You. Yes. You is a pronoun. PR. Good job. There's a couple of them.
Is I a pronoun too?
I is a pronoun too. Good job. So that's 1, 2, 3. Couple more. Oh, I have an I here.
And it?
Yep, you got it. Good job. There's one adjective, and an adjective describes the noun. It's an adjective describing noun. Can you know, or can you guess, Bronx, or can you identify an adjective in these sentences?
I believe it's 20.
It is 20. Good job. 20 pounds describes the noun. Good job. And then Bronx, back to you. How about an adverb that describes or adds to a verb? I'll give you a hint. It's at the beginning here. And remember, adverbs usually have an ly. That's a big hint. Look for ly. I'm giving you an even bigger hint. I'm giving you a massively ginormous.
Immediately.
Okay, good. Immediately. There you go. ADV. Because took is the verb, right? So immediately is adding to that verb. Good. And then a coordinating conjunction. Remember, that connects parts of sentences together. Allie, do you know what that would be?
Is it and?
It is and. It's funny. It sounds like we're playing Jeopardy. What is and? I don't know why I just thought of that, but it was funny. Is that the game? Yeah, that's the game. Where they would like say a sentence and then you'd have to figure out what the question is to the sentence. Anyway. Prepositional phrases, and this one we're going to underline, and it begins with a preposition. And you remember we have that list in the back of the book to help you remember what prepositions are. I'm going to skip over to Abby. There's 2 of them in here. Can you identify one or both? If you forget, you can flip to that back page. I think it's like 198. 198, yeah. Preposition. Starts with a preposition.
At?
Yes. So what would be the phrase?
At the edge?
At the edge. Perfect. And then there's one more. It's right next to it.
Oh, of the wood.
The wood. You got it. Good job. All right, remember last week we talked about the that clause, and it begins with that. That's pretty easy. How about Paisley? Do you see the that clause? Starts with that.
Real quick. Oh my goodness.
I know we're really marking this up. It's like a mess, but that's good.
That I can hit it.
Yep, exactly. Oops. Wait, we are putting parentheses. That, I can hit it, and above the word that, we're going to write the word that. Because it's fun. And then we have 4 subject-verb pairs. 4 of them. And remember, there's often more than one verb that connects to the subject. So in that first sentence here, Robin is the subject. Robin immediately took offense. He took offense. that is the verb that pairs with the subject, but we're not done yet. And challenged, go ahead and put a V above that, the forester. So we have the subject Robin took and challenged as the verb pairs. I'm just going to help you with this part because I need to move a little faster. But here's this example of that direct, I'm drawing a blank here, what it's called again. Direct, noun of direct address. Noun of direct address, right? Because he's saying, sir, that's your noun. But the actual subject in this part of the sentence is going to be you. This is the direct address, sir. But the subject is you, and then the two verbs that go with the subject, that pair with the subject, is do and see. Do you see? So the subject is you, and he's doing the do and the see. Okay? And the last sentence, the subject is I bet is the verb. And we're not done yet. Here we have can hit. Can hit. And can is one of those helping verbs. So those are in there too. Whew. These are getting crazy. Capitals, we know the first word or the name is a capital. We know the first word here, sir, is capital. We need to capitalize our I's. 1, 2, 3, 4, got that. Commas, take out the one after offense. We don't need that one there. Robin immediately took offense and challenged the forester. Sir, remember that's addressing. The noun of direct address, that needs a comma. Sir, like Bronx. I don't know why I'm picking on Bronx today. Those are the commas. And then the end mark at the very end is a period. All right, we survived. Your homework will be the next 3 pages. Take your time on these. Do not do this in a hurry. Please, please, please. Because what happens is if you do it in a hurry and you miss a whole bunch of them, then I have to type on your homework. Don't forget to do this. Check for this. And it's like I'm typing. I get this long message on your homework assignment. So take your time on it. Make sure you put check marks up here because that tells me, oh, I need to look for 5 pronouns or 8 nouns. Make sure you look for all of them. The hardest one is probably the subject-verb pair because there's more than one verb usually. So that's probably the hardest one in my opinion. But use your book. Go back and go, wait, what's a subject pair again? A subject-verb pair. How do I find that? Flip back, flip forward, find it in your book for help. Okay, so we're done with grammar. Let's put that aside. Let's get out your story that you rewrote this week, and then that yellow page that I was telling you about, page 21 from your binder. Okay. Before we get too deep into this, just gonna talk just for a minute about your writing, because your writing has style, and there are other things in life that have style, such as hairstyle. Might be short or long, or spiky or curly, different hairstyles. It could be the style of a car. It could be, a diesel truck, or it could be a Jeep, convertible. Those are different styles of cars. There's lots of different styles. A minivan. Other things that could be style is your clothes, right? We have different styles of clothes, and you might wear different things for different occasions. Like for me, today I'm wearing a little blazer, and I'm a little dressed up because I'm teaching this class. I'm not going to come in my pajamas as much as I want to, and I can't promise I'll never do that because come December and January when there's snow outside and I'm cold, I might wear my robe. Hopefully it's not offensive to anybody, but you know, it's cold and I might have a beanie on my head or something like that. But for now, I'm okay. So I'm going to dress up. But if you were to go, you know, to the beach, you wouldn't want to wear a suit and tie to the beach, right? Unless you're taking pictures at a wedding or something on the beach, you know, there's that. But typically when you go to the beach, you don't want to wear a suit and tie. You're going to wear your pajamas. No, just kidding. You're going to wear your swimsuit. And maybe some shorts and a hat. Okay, the point is this is true for writing as well. So writing also has different styles. Like if you're writing a note to a friend, and I bet you, especially the girls, maybe Bronx has too, I don't know, because I used to write notes and I thought it was so fun to use like rainbow colors. And I would write one word in purple and then the next word would be blue and then the next word would be red. Have you guys ever done that before? Or maybe even each letter. Bronx is like, nah, that takes too long. I'm not going to do that. He's like, let's get down to business. I'm just going to write a note. But the girls, maybe you like to put little symbols in there, little smiley faces, or remember when you were younger, maybe you put a little heart for the eye, or maybe you still do. I mean, sometimes I do that when I write a note to my daughter, I'll put a little heart on the eye. So that's kind of fun, and you know, that's a relaxed style that you would write a note to a friend. Or have you guys ever written a note that's like, I don't know if you've ever had a yearbook or whatever, but I have a couple of yearbooks that my friends would write this like upside down and then it would say, go to page 24. And then I got to go to page 24 to find out, okay, what's the rest of, oh, she says, have a good summer on page 24. You know, it's like a little hidden message in there. So those are fun ways to write notes to your friends or family members or whatever. But then there's maybe a time when you want to write an important message or letter to somebody. For instance, you know, I shouldn't talk politics because honestly, can I just say right here that I really dislike politics like to the max? And I don't know if you knew, but I'm actually running right now for a school board trustee position. So I'm in politics, but I am not a politician and I will never identify as a politician because I really don't like politics. Okay, enough of that. But if you were to write to Governor Newsom and you want to really work hard at finding kind words to say to him, but you're also wanting to tell him something very important to you, right? And you got to work at finding those kind words. I know, Bronx, I see you laughing. I know. Be kind, okay? But be direct. But when you write to the governor, you're going to use different vocabulary instead of like, dude, what are you thinking when you made up this rule? Okay, you know, you're not going to talk like that to the governor, right? Maybe you want to, but when you write to them, you want to keep it a little more professional and a little bit more dressed up. So that is my introduction to this page of your binder. There are lots of ways that you can dress up or stylize your writing. And we are going to chip away at these different things. And so this page needs to be toward the front. Actually, you could actually put it at the very front of your binder because we're going to come back to this often to add to it. Today, we're just going to start with the very first one, which is ly adverb. So right underneath here, dress up. So I'm going to have you write ly adverb. And it was kind of handy that we learned that in our grammar books. So adding ly adverbs to a writing sometimes is not natural for us to do that. But when you add an ly word, you're not going to believe this. It really changes the story and it will become more alive and more fun to read. So that's the first dress up we're going to talk about today. Now, ly adverbs add to the verb. That's all we're going to write on this page actually. So you can put this in the very front of your binder. So it's handy because every week we're going to add to this. Sometimes it's just one thing like today. Sometimes it'll be more than one. Just adverb for today. And now I need you to get out a clean sheet of paper. You can use a pen or a pencil for this. I don't care either way. All right. And label it like you always do. You guys should know that. Anytime you get out a new piece of paper, first and last name. And it is October already. I can't believe it. October 4th, 2022. And we're just going to call this LY adverbs. And these are going to be notes. So you're going to keep this handy at the beginning of your binder as well, because you'll be referring back to this as you use these words. All right, and thinking of the story that you rewrote that was called Disgusting or Delicacy. Disgusting or a Delicacy. Thinking back on that, actually, what I want to do first, I'm just going to pause on this. Let's see what time we got. Oh, good. We got some time. All right. I'm just going to have you guys, I need 2 volunteers to read to us your version. I'm going to take a break on this just for a second. We're just going to go back to that story that you rewrote for homework. I just need 2 volunteers who would be willing to read their version of the story, Disgusting or a Delicacy. So go ahead and tell us your title first, because you should have created a title, and then read your story. I see Bronx. Thank you for volunteering. So you can go ahead and, when you're ready, read your title and then your version of the story.
Okay. Unique delicacy. Most common foods might surprise you in different countries. Raw fish, Japanese style, are available in malls, airports. Some countries have unique foods. One specialty is fried tarantula in Cambodia. In China, you can eat grilled scorpion. The octopus is so fresh that it is still squirming on the plate. You can eat ant larva, which has a nutty flavor. You also can buy chocolate-covered silkworms from Thailand.
Very good. Oh, you're going. Go, keep going.
We can complain or we can complain or compare, but every country has its unique delicacy, even fried dung beetle.
Good job. Nice, Bronx. Very good. I like it. And I noticed you did have your title words in your last sentence, so good job with that. Awesome. Anybody else want to give it a try? You're welcome. Read your title and then read your version of the story. They're all going, don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me. Oh, you guys, it's safe here. Can I pick Abby? Would you be willing to read yours? She's like, maybe if I don't make eye contact, she won't pick me. I remember doing that in class, so don't feel bad. I know but you're safe here. We are all friends. We're all in this together, so don't worry.
Okay. My title is Grilled Seahorse for Dinner. Most
Nice.
people are used to eating common foods like beef and vegetables. Raw fish is even available at malls and airports across North America. However, some other countries prepare rather unusual foods. A Cambodian delicacy is a fried tarantula. In China, you could purchase grilled black scorpions on a stick. In Southern Korea, they prepare raw octopus that is so new, so fresh that it still squirms on the plate. A rare Mexican dish is called escamoles, which are fried ant larvae. You could even purchase chocolate-covered silkworms from Thailand. So next time your parents give you a vegetable to eat that you don't like, don't complain. It's better than having to eat a fried dung beetle or grilled seahorse.
Yes, I like it. It's funny, I actually got chills when you said squirming on your plate. I don't know why that gets me every time. It's like, ugh. But anyway, it was very well written, so good job, Abby. And I did notice you used your title words came from your last sentence, so you connected it there. Good job with that. All right, so now we're going to talk about some LY words, the adverbs that we can use in this particular story. So think for a second back at that first sentence, and it's talking about people eating, normal people, right? Eating fruits and vegetables and meats and stuff. So the verb in that first sentence would be eat, right? So let's think for a minute. And I'm going to use the word somethingly as kind of your blank for the word I'm looking for. So if I were to say people somethingly eat fruits and vegetables, what is a ly word we could use there? I'm going to start it off by putting commonly. So go ahead and write commonly as a word. We're just going to make a list here. But that's an
Mrs.
example.
Cisneros,
Yes, Paisley.
I left my paper downstairs. Can I go grab it?
Oh yeah, go grab it. Okay, so commonly. So people commonly eat fruits and vegetables. Do you know of another ly adverb we could use describing how people eat fruits and vegetables? Can you think of another ly word? Here, I'll help you guys so we can get started. I'll get your juices flowing here. Usually, what about that? Usually, because we're talking about at the beginning of the story, they're just talking about how this is plain. Like we all eat beef, chicken, vegetables, fruits. That's normal. We could say quickly, especially if we're hungry, and that does happen. If you're hangry, then you might really eat quickly, like frantically almost. Have you ever been hangry before? That's not a good feeling, especially if you've been hangry and tired. That's a really bad combination. So everybody in your family should just stay away. If you're hangry and tired, no good. All right, what about if we're talking about grilled scorpions in China? Oh boy, yeah, grilled scorpions in China. We need to think of somethingly they grilled scorpions in China. Somethingly they grill scorpions in China. Do you think of an ly word you could put there?
Weirdly.
I love it. I agree with that. Weirdly. What else is there? ly. You could just unmute and say it if you think of one. Somethingly they grilled scorpions in China. Kind of goes with weirdly, but we could say strangely. How about the opposite of usually? What would be the opposite of usually?
Unusually.
Unusually. That would be another one you could use there. Unusually. Unusually or oddly is another one you could use there. Notice how I skipped a space. I'm just kind of grouping these together a little bit. Basically what we're doing is coming up with a list for you that you'll be able to use in your writing, because we're going to dress up your writing a little bit more. How about and you could already use these for frying tarantulas in oil. Yeah, that's weirdly frying tarantulas in oil. Strangely. It could be rarely, I guess we could say rarely. Depends on where you're at. I guess if you're in, where were they doing that? Frying tarantulas? Oh, Cambodia. I guess if you're a Cambodian, that's not rare. But if you're American, yeah. All right. In South Korea, the octopus arms are somethingly wiggling on the plate. I can't wait till we're done with the story. I'm just saying. I don't know if anybody else gets squirmy like this, but I'm like, okay, I'll try not to throw up on the computer because that would not be good. Anyway, can you guys think of an ly word? In South Korea, the octopus arms are somethingly wiggling. You have one?
Wiggly.
Wiggling. I guess we could say wiggling. Is there another one you could say? Like, how would you describe how they're wiggling? They're
Probably crazy.
okay. So crazy, that's a good one, but how would we turn crazy into an ly word? Because you need a ly at the end.
Crazily.
Crazily. Good. Crazily. How about grossly? Grossly wiggling. How about creepily? Ah. Creepily. See where I'm going with this? So you're kind of thinking ahead at your sentences that you have. You're coming up with this ly word list. And let's think about at the end where it talks about he somethingly ate the delicacy. Let's say the person actually likes what they're talking about in this story, and they somethingly ate the delicacy. Or, yeah, let's say they like it. What would they say? Somethingly ate the delicacy.
Happily.
Good. Happily. Think of any others? Eating the delicacy. Somethingly eating the delicacy.
Gratefully.
Okay. Gratefully. Maybe they're really hungry and they're starving and they're grateful for the fried tarantula so they won't die. Could be grateful for that. What else? Any others? How are they eating this? Somethingly eating. What if they don't like it? What if it's like me and I'm like, oh, I have to eat this? And I know I told you the escargot story, so I was like, I can do this. So how would you describe that? Something
What about
Yeah, go ahead.
ungratefully? Like,
Ungratefully? Yeah, you totally
Yeah.
could use, let's put un before it in parentheses so that you could use ungratefully or gratefully. How about shockingly? Shockingly, they ate it. Or slowly. Because they're like, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up. Right? They're trying to get through it. Or rapidly. The faster you eat it, maybe you don't notice how it tastes. Or here's a good one. How about revoltingly? Okay, you get the idea, right? Here we got our list of ly adverbs. And what I'm going to do is have you just put a big box around this. I was telling the class earlier that I'm a note taker. I like to take notes. If I'm learning in a class or I'm at church or wherever I'm at, that I want to make sure I write down what people are saying and what's happening. So I usually put a box or a circle or some kind of way to identify something important. So I'm just gonna have you draw a box because I like boxes. So, all right, now we're gonna practice this. Let's go back to the beginning of our list here. So I need, Paisley, and you got your story, right? Did you go find it? Okay, good. Can you tell us your very first sentence that you wrote, just the very first sentence of your writing that you wrote on yours?
Most of the time, people eat common food like beef, chicken, and vegetables.
Good. We're going to write that down. And make sure you're skipping lines between this. I like your sentence. Common food. That's an E, by the way. Most of the time, people eat common food like, tell me the things you put on your sentence again.
Beef, chicken, and vegetables.
Beef, chicken, and vegetables. All right. When you, and I'll give you a second to write that down. This is her sentence. We're just going to use her sentence to practice with. So when you look at a sentence and you're wanting to add a dress-up word, an ly adverb, you have to first identify the verb. So in this sentence, the verb is eat. And I'm just going to underline it to help me remember that's the verb. And then I want you to add a little caret symbol. It looks like a V like that. Remember, hopefully you double spaced on this. Always double space when we're doing the writing because you're going to need to fix things and add things. So here we're going to look for an ly adverb that we can put in this sentence before the word eat. So I noticed here the first adverb that I have on my list is commonly, but I wouldn't want to put commonly eat common food. That's commonly, common too many times, right? So we don't want to repeat that. So what ly adverb could we put here instead of commonly? What would you guys pick? And you can just unmute and say it.
Usually.
Good, I like that one. I think that's a good one. So let's put usually. So now it says, most of the time, people usually eat common food like beef, chicken, and vegetables. And she already had most of the time, so it's a little redundant, but that's okay. That's one spot, one example where you can add an ly word to your story. That's what you're going to be working on this week. So let's think about the next group of words. How about Bronx, can you look at your story and find where you talked about grilling black scorpion on a stick? Remember that part of the story? What is your actual sentence for that part?
Like the sentence that I wrote?
Yeah, about that part of your story.
Okay, it's in China you can eat grilled scorpion.
Okay, and I skipped a couple lines for this, so it separates it. In China, you can, you say eat grilled scorpion or eat grilled scorpion? Okay.
You can eat grilled scorpion, yeah.
Grilled.
Shops all over California.
Was that the end of the sentence? In China, you can eat grilled scorpion?
Yeah.
Okay, put a period. Good. What is our verb in that sentence, Abby?
Eat.
It is eat. You might have thought for a second it was grilled because that could be a verb, but this is actually an adjective telling about the scorpion. So you're right, eat. So let's think of one of these, and you can choose any of these on our list, or we could actually come up with one that's not on our list. Let's see, Allie, what ly word could you add right here? In China, you can somethingly eat grilled scorpion. What adverb would you like to add to that?
Oddly.
Oddly, I like it. Okay, so you guys get the idea, right? This is the first step in dressing up your writing. So for your homework this week, I'm going to have you add 3. That's it. Lucky you. You only have to choose 3. And I want you to add 3 ly words to your writing. And you can add them in by doing your little caret there and adding in that ly word. It needs to come before a verb, and that's how you find it. And you can use this list right here. We came up with a great list of possibilities for this story, but if you want to look beyond that, you can. You can check with your parents about getting online and looking up ly words, or using a dictionary. A lot of times they'll have adverbs lists in your dictionary. Is there an adverb list? Oh yeah, there's not one back here, but you can start making one, right? We talked about that. So adverbs will come in handy hold on. Is there an adverb list already back here? No. That was our grammar book. You might find an adverb list somewhere. Basically, they're ly words, though. So add 3 to your writing. And then the next thing you're going to do for your homework is you're going to hire an editor for free, because editors are really expensive. Like I could do it for you, but I charge $1 a word. Just kidding, I don't. That would be mean. That'd be like, dude, you're ripping me off. $1 a word? Okay, so I'm obviously you don't have to actually hire somebody, but when I say hire an editor, I just mean find somebody in your family, whether it's an older brother or sister, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, cousin, somebody older than you, okay? Preferably like a few years older than you. And then I want you to hand them your story that you rewrote and you added your ly adverbs to, because I think at this point your story might be a little messy, because we talked about drawing lines, rewriting words, moving words, and you're fixing and you're making it yours, right? Maybe you had to add a few words to your last sentence so it would match your title and all that. You're going to have an editor, somebody in your family, or even a friend who can read this and check it for you, because a lot of times we don't catch our little mistakes, like forgetting to capitalize something or forgetting a punctuation mark, whether it's a comma or an end mark or whatever. So have somebody read your paper, and then they can make little corrections if they need to, and then hand it back to you. The reason why it's hard to have your mom do it is because your mom is your teacher, probably. Maybe you have somebody else as your teacher, but if your mom's your teacher, your mom might be like, you need to move this and fix this, and this would sound better if you did this. And then it's like, whoa, I'm gonna have to do all this fixing. So maybe somebody other than the one that normally does your school teaching, your home, other than your home educator, maybe your dad or a big brother or somebody like that. Okay, so they can fix it really quick and go, okay, here you go, looks good. And then you're gonna rewrite it in a nice copy. And I will let you type it this time if you prefer typing and you like that. It's faster, it's neater. You may type this. I will attach a Google Doc to your homework that you can retype it. Did anybody type this version of the story, or did everybody handwrite it? Okay, everybody just handwrote it. It's up to you. If you like writing it out and you like your handwriting and stuff, go ahead and handwrite it out with your ly words and with all of your corrections and with your title and everything. Make sure you double space. That's really, really important. And you're going to use pen, okay? So, and if you have to draw a line and fix something, that's okay. But try to get it as neat and finished as you can for this one. And then your grammar. So that's your homework for this week. You have your 3 pages of grammar. You're going to add 3 ly words to your writing, and then you're going to neaten it up. Have an editor look at it, help you with any spelling errors or anything you miss, and then you're going to rewrite it in your nice handwriting or typing. And don't freak out if you're using pen and you get to the very end and you're like, I spelled the HTE, that's not right. It's okay. If you got to draw a little line through it and fix that, that's okay. Don't worry. All right, do you guys have any questions about what you need to do this week for homework coming up? I kind of backed off a little bit on the homework this week for you. And then we're going to ramp it up again when we start adding more dress-up type words to your writing. So just for this one, we're starting with ly adverbs. Okie dokie. All right. I like the thumbs up.
Thank you.
You could do a little like, what is it, disco, I guess? Oh no, this is disco. Yeah. That's got to be a dance move. I don't know what it is, but it means let's go. Let's get out of here. It's already 10:45. All right, you guys.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye.
So
Okay, bye.
Bye, Bronx. See you
Have a
later.
good day.
You too. Thank you.
I
Yes.
need to turn my thing in still, but my phone died.